How do you actually get that perfect client? What do I mean by perfect client? The person that wants to work with you as much as you want to work with them. They value you and they pay you what you're worth for your help and your time. When you're working with several clients and getting paid, all is great. But what happens when you finish working with those clients and you have nothing in your pipeline? And the only thing you hear are crickets. Wouldn't it be great if you could wave a magic wand and magically new clients appear? I know I would. The problem is it doesn't happen that way. Over the years, as I've worked with consultants, I've heard comments such as, I've connected with lots of people, but nobody is interested in speaking with me. I have been told the reason I don't have any new clients is I don't know how to sell. I've been working as a consultant for several years. I have lots of clients, but I'm barely getting by. And I'm exhausted. How can I compete with all the other consultants? They're all doing the same thing. I'm not any different. Many of the consultants I've spoken with have hit a plateau. They have inconsistent revenue. They're frustrated. They're exhausted. And they're struggling. They also don't know what to do next. On the surface, their comments might sound like the reason they're not creating new clients or making a livable wage is related to how they're marketing themselves or engaging with a proposal that is priced fairly for both of them. As we discuss their challenges, more times than not, their problem starts with what I refer to as their business core. Their focus, ideal client, and point of view, or their why and the what, who and the how. Their focus, ideal client, and point of view need to work together in conjunction with one another. And many times there's a hole someplace in that working together. Think of a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid is your reward clients. At the bottom of the pyramid is your business core, your focus, ideal client, and point of view. With a solid business core, you are positioned to build and develop relationships with people who fit your ideal client profile. You market you. And when a person, a potential client, asks for your help, you engage by providing a proposal that meets their needs at a fair price. Your business score is like your body score. You never stop working on it. You never stop refining your focus, ideal client, and point of view. The three work together in conjunction with one another to help build a base for you to build relationships with that perfect client. Recently, I was speaking with a personal trainer who had taken time off for major surgery. After 2 months, she was finally back at work, but surprised at how weak her core muscles had become in what she believed was a relatively short period of time. She knew she wasn't starting over, but she also knew it would take her some time to get back to her prior self. The same thing happens to your business core. You don't want to take your eye off of it because if you do, you can lose some of the strength you have to help build your business. This video is about strengthening your focus, ideal client, and point of view so that you are better positioned to get that perfect paying client. Just like your body score, you never stop working on refining your focus, ideal client, and point of view. As you listen to this video, hopefully one or two of the suggestions I've provided can help you, whether you're new to consulting or you've been consulting for years. Hi, I'm Laura Burford. I help solo independent consultants People who have experience and expertise establish and grow their own consulting businesses, positioning them to create that perfect client, leading to consistent revenue, and enabling you, to live life on your terms. If you're interested in more consulting insights and ideas to master consulting, click on the subscribe button. And if you click on the bell, you'll be notified when the next video is available. If you are interested in mastering consulting, download the consultant's assessment document and take it. It doesn't take long to go through the statements that are there. After you take it, if you are interested in discussing your findings with me, schedule time to talk. Links are in the description area below. Let me discuss each of the concepts briefly, and I'll start with focus. Focus is the one thing for which you want to be known. If you are not clear as to what you want to be known for, or you say you can provide a multitude of services, there is a good chance the person with whom you're speaking will not be able to understand how you might possibly be able to help them. I refer to your focus as the foundation for your business. And if you think of it this way, the foundation of a house, if the foundation of your house is shaky, there is a very good chance you will have problems with the overall structure of the house. The same thing happens with your business's focus. If it is shaky, if it's not solid, there's a very good chance you will struggle as you build your business. The clearer you are as to the one thing for which you want to be known, the less confused people, potential clients, are as to how you can help them. You also want to be careful you're not viewed as the jack of all trades and the master of none. Believe me when I say I've done that. And it's not a fun place to be in. And it wasn't until somebody pulled me aside and actually said, I'm not sure how I can help you. I'm not sure who to refer you to. Because you do too many things. When determining and refining a focus, a consultant, you need to evaluate who you are, what matters to you, and what is important to you. You also assess your experiences and expertise, as well as strengths. And you take time to look at the demand and desire, or the need and want. The reason why somebody would hire and pay you. What problem are you solving for them? Where the three converge. Who are you, what matters to you, what's important to you, your experiences, expertise and strengths, and demand and desire is where you will find your focus. It is where you will find what you want to be known for. Could you come up with several possibilities? Definitely yes. But you need to take the time to narrow down those possibilities. Narrow it down to one. And as you decide on that one, you also decide or determine why that one. The best way to explain this is with the help of an example. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started working together, their focus was on the end user technical experience. They felt technology was overly complicated for the average person. And that was the pain point. That was the problem they set out to solve. They wanted to change the way people viewed computers and used technology. Your focus is not your how, it's your why and your what. In this case, Steve's case, their focus was on the end user technical experience. Their why, technology was overly complicated for the average person. Their how, which is another video completely, are their products and services. Your ideal client is your who. It is the person that you want to work with, and they want to work with you. Mutual. It's a mutual relationship. When you think about your ideal client, there are 3 things to consider. The first is you need to be able to identify what your ideal client looks like. What's their profile? The second is you need to be able to find your ideal client, because if you can't find your ideal client, there is no ideal client. And the third is you need to take time to validate that your ideal client is interested in what you want to do. They're interested in your focus. When you identify your ideal client, you determine the characteristics, the tangible aspects, and their behaviorisms or mannerisms, the intangible aspects of your ideal client. A characteristic could be a person who is a small business owner with less than 25 employees. A behavior or mannerism could be a business owner who believes in social good and makes it a point to set aside time for their employees to volunteer. And the volunteering occurs on company time. If you're not sure about your ideal client's characteristics and behaviors, set aside some time and brainstorm them. Here's one way to brainstorm them, and it is an exercise I perform at least once a year. I have found periodically my ideal client characteristics and behaviorisms or mannerisms have shifted slightly, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Start by finding a quiet spot. Set a timer for 15 minutes. I use my cell phone. And list all the characteristics you can think of. When the timer goes off, stop. Do the same thing for behaviors and mannerisms. With 2 lists in hand, you want to merge the 2 lists and rank the characteristics and behaviorisms. What are the top 10? How about the top 3? Why top 3? When somebody asks what your ideal client looks like, you want to be able to provide them 3. What 3 would you tell them? It is great to define what your ideal client looks like, but if you can't find them, or the person you identified doesn't exist, you don't have an ideal client. What that means is you need to think strategically as to where you can find that person, where you can find that ideal client. You also want to make it easy for your ideal client to find you. Because it's great when somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, I heard you might be able to help me. Can we talk?" One consultant with whom I've worked started networking with an association. This was 5 years ago, and he started his business. And that one association is where he is connected with the majority of his clients. Think about where you might want to spend your time. Is it with an association? Is it by going to conferences? I have another client who spends time going to conferences, and that's where he finds his clients. Is it by partnering with other people who work with your ideal client, providing different services? After you've identified what your ideal client looks like, what their profile is, and determine where you might be able to find your ideal client, you want to spend time validating. And you never stop validating. Validating is simply reaching out to people to get advice, asking for their help. You want to keep your ear to the ground and hear what their problems are. You want to validate that your ideal client, the person that you identified, is interested in your focus, your why and your what. There are a number of videos on this channel that talk about and discuss ideal client in much more detail than I did right here. Help yourself to them. I'll jot some of the links down in the description area. The last concept is your point of view. Your point of view is what makes you unique. It is what is your differentiator. It is what helps you stand out in that crowded field of other consultants. I mentioned one of the common things I hear is, I'm not unique, I'm not different. How do I compete with the other people that are out there? One way you compete is by being clear as to your point of view. How, at a strategic level, are you going to help somebody move from where they are today to where they want to be? How are you going to eliminate that pain? How are you going to solve their problem? Prospective clients interested in working with you want to know how you can help them overcome their struggles or move them ahead with an opportunity. Your point of view is your philosophy. It is strategic in nature, and it helps explain how you help your client achieve what they want to achieve. What your point of view is not is your value proposition. An easy way to explain point of view is with the help of an example. When I started out on my own, one of my first clients asked for help evaluating 3 networking outsourcing proposals. The 3 service providers all provided similar services, and their proposals looked basically the same. There were no major differences, and the fees quoted were within the reasonable range of one another. The client was struggling to decide which service provider to hire. They had already interviewed each service provider, but we decided that maybe we should bring them back in to talk about the proposals. One provider sent a salesperson who was new to outsourcing services. The salesperson did a great job walking through the proposal and discussing the tactics, but a personal connection didn't occur. He didn't understand the client's pain points, and I'm not sure he took the time to really listen to what the client was saying. The client, my client, didn't feel comfortable with him. He didn't feel comfortable with the salesperson. Another service provider sent a salesperson and a support person. They walked through the proposal, again discussing the tactics. The support person took the time to answer the client's questions, and there was nothing wrong with the presentation. The challenge was when my client asked the service provider if the support person who was supporting him there that day would be his main contact. And this support person said, I don't know who will be your main contact. A personal connection didn't occur. The last service provider was completely different. The owner showed up, and the owner brought the support person who would be the key contact for the client. The owner didn't even walk through the proposal. Instead, he discussed his philosophy when it came to outsourcing services. He discussed his approach. He drew a picture on the whiteboard as to how he believed that their support would occur. He described their work ethic, their culture, and what he expected of his employees. He wanted to know what was important to my client and what would make the relationship successful for both of them. He listened to the challenges, and he put the client at ease. Want to guess who was awarded the work? A point of view is the high-level how. It is strategic in nature. A point of view drives a consultant's methodology and services. Your point of view helps explain how you're going to solve their problem, how you're going to eliminate the pain points. The actual services are technical. So how do you go about getting that perfect client? You know you need to build awareness of what you do and market yourself. You know you need to be able to listen, analyze, and provide a proposal that meets the client's needs, and is at a price that is fair to both of you. However, everything starts by you being clear as to your focus, ideal client, and point of view. They are the why and the what, the who and the how for your business. I refer to them as your business core because you need to get them right to help you soar. And just about everything you do builds on what you decide when you think about your why, your what, your who, and your how. There is a dialectic relationship between the three of them. There is tension, conflict, and interaction. As you modify one of them, there is a very good possibility that you might need to modify another one of them. The key to getting that perfect client, the person that wants to work with you as much as you want to work with them, is you never stop honing your focus, ideal client, and point of view. Honing occurs as soon as you start your consulting business, and it continues until you close the door of your consulting business. Here's my question for you. Can you succinctly and clearly describe your business core, your focus, ideal client, and point of view? Let me know what it is down in the comment section. As a consultant, I periodically assess myself. If you haven't taken the time to assess yourself, consider downloading the consultant's assessment document. And after you complete it, if you want to discuss your findings with me, schedule time to talk. You will find links in the description area below. Also, check out the various other videos on this channel that discuss focus, ideal client, and point of view, and help yourself to any of the free documents on my website. There are several links down below in the description area. Finally, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in additional consulting insights to help you grow and build your business, consider subscribing to this channel and clicking on the bell. If you click on the bell, you will be notified when the next video is available. I look forward to seeing you in the future. If there's a topic you would like me to discuss on a future consulting insight, post it in the comment section below as well. You never know, I'm always looking for ideas. Until the next consulting insight, take care.